Welcome back to Trinity 7 Anime Review, Part 2. Now, I forgot to mention this in my first view. This show is not for kids. Why? Because of all the sex jokes. Not much for swearing per se. Yeah, there's hardly any swearing in the show, surprisingly, but there's lots of sex jokes. So, yeah, not for kids. Though, oddly enough, despite the fact there is a lot, you have Arya, basically, him using his stripping spell, aka the carbon copy of Dress Break, in this series. Surprisingly, we don't see not much nudity. I mean, yeah, the women are stripped naked, but it's a bit censored because there's a little bit of clothing left. So you don't really see much of anything. You don't even see full breast at all in this entire series. Now, in these episodes, the first three, 5 through 7, is a three-parter. Yes, the character Lisa appears, who is revealed to be Serena's older sister, who basically looks exactly like her. And this is something quite interesting about this character. Originally, her breasts were drawn to be smaller than her younger sister, and then later on they fixed it where her breasts are bigger than her sister. Why do I bring this up? Because it's brought up on the Wiki page. That's basically the gist of it. And that is indeed true. Her outfit is simply this. It's basically kind of like a one cloth top where it's like tied to the top and it just covers like part of her chest. Wears shorts and shows off basically her entire back, no problem. And boots. That's her attire for these 3 episodes. And there's a lot of hilarity with this one. Like, she basically is the one, and of course the thing opens up quite hilariously with, get this, Arya basically waking up and you and Aaron are butt naked in his bed. Now you're probably curious though, did he have sex with these 2 girls? The answer is no, he never did. They just happily in his bed completely naked for like no reason at all. Also, you kissed him in the cheek last episode. There's some kissing this one too. 3 times, in fact. Twice in the same episode. Yep. So, of course, he's woken up, and then, of course, not long after he wakes up, basically, that's when Lisa shows up, causing a rampage at the school. Though she does get away briefly. Well, she first steals her sister's magic. Yes. She literally, apparently, took the time to rip open her sister's shirt and bite her, basically, her nip right here. She bites there and basically steals her magic. And later on, when they talk to her later about it, she says, I'm not going to apologize for it. She's like, yeah, that's typical you. I wasn't going to expect it from you. I'm like, you do know this is your sister. You stole her magic and you basically read off as nothing. Yeah. And then of course, well, we have Arya training with Marin and I think it was Mari. I don't remember the other woman's name. The one with the globe. The one is the head of Grimoire Security. Training with them to basically learn the power to, well, copy power. Let's see if I can find it here. Let's see. What is her name? Let's see. Not Lilith. Not Aaron. It's Maria and Akio. Yes. Trained to learn Akio's power, basically creating like some special spell, though when he puts on his outfit later, it's more like a Chinese-style martial arts outfit what he puts on. Yep, and of course Lita shows up, and she causes people to, of course she stole some of Aaron's ability by making out with him. Yep, first of 3 times he gets kissed in these episodes. He gets kissed on the lips. So it was not only her first kiss, but his first kiss as well. And it happens in episode 5. I'm thinking though, like, this has actually happened in other series I've watched, where in Arya the Scarlet Ammo, where the main character has his first kiss in the 5th episode of the series. Yep. Though in the case of that one that was meant to calm her down, this woman basically kissed him, not the other way around. But he still would use someone's magic, not much problem. And of course, well, there's a joke basically about the Trinity 7, whether it be later in Serena's room, And of course, well, have this little the deal like if he beats you, you have to give me you mage. And he shows up later, and then apparently he proceeds to almost like remove her top, and then Levi rolls a joke like, "Oh yeah, he has a desire to see all the members of Trinity 7 naked." And it's pointed out though, Levi is the only one he hasn't seen naked yet. He doesn't refer to her as his final frontier yet, but that is indeed true. She's the only one she hasn't seen naked yet. I'm like, I would think he was seeing some part of her naked, but not completely naked. Yeah, I also had this hilarious bit with the headmaster before this, where basically he's protecting two female students. When he covers them up, he's like, "Thank you for the feast." By the way, that's the same line that Arya uses when he sees Ari naked. And then of course he confronts Lisa, where she defeats him by distracting him with her chest. Like, "Oh, I know what you want to see." So she lifts up her top and shows off her chest. And then she throws him out the window. I'm like, wow. At least this time he's not jumping through a window. And of course he had the cartoonish style landing on the ground with a little like landing thing. I thought that was kind of hilarious, the fact they threw that in. I mean, that's something you see in American cartoons where someone falls up but they survive, but they leave this little hole in the ground in the shape of their body, which that's typical for Looney Tunes cartoons. I'm like, why the heck would they even do that for? But they did. Then later on, they actually fight. And at one point, we reveal her ability, where apparently her magic is to stop time, so she can steal the rest of his magic. Though apparently the only way to stop her is by grabbing her chest, and he tries multiple times to try to do it, and then she freezes him, and then she kisses him again for the second time. Though it turns out that he actually transferred the power from his hand to his tongue, thus basically free everybody. And he kisses her one more time, gives her a hug, and basically says, "Don't disappear, because your sister basically missed you." Though she does leave anyways. She stays in that world, but she'll get out later. Don't worry about that, because in the manga, she's out of that world anyways. Though she's actually changed her ways when she shows up again in the series. And of course, what is he doing as soon as he gets out of there? He ends up groping Lilith. Again. Yep. And, well, that kind of ends that three-parter. Yeah, this wraps up by episode 7. Though before she leaves, he does kiss her one more time. So, effectively, these two have made out 3 times over the course of 3 episodes. Twice in the same episode. But, damn, really good stuff here. That I found this to be hilarious. Now, episode 8 is mostly put aside for the final few episodes of the series, from what I can tell. Where, basically, at the end of episode 7... it's revealed that the West Academy has been destroyed. It was destroyed at the same time when Lisa was attacking the school. Though basically we have it's where Anko, Maria, Lilith, and Arya basically are summoned to the headmaster's office. So there's a hilarious bit where he trips and lands and basically looks under her skirt and says, "Oh, you're not wearing the bunny underwear." Yeah, there's a joke about that later on in the episode of why she stopped wearing it because of him. Yeah, it might be implied she might develop an attraction to him. I wouldn't be surprised. So, basically, he's invited to become the new Assistant Chief of Grimoire Security. The reason being, and according to the Headmaster, the reason being he's able to actually join this particular group is because he's got the best grades to basically qualify. Which, okay, at least he's not replacing the current head of Grimoire Security. Being Assistant Chief actually makes sense for him to do. And basically live to join as basically a chaperone, even though she's the same age he is. Though at least he doesn't refer to her as Toots anymore like he did back in the pilot. Yeah, he referred to that back in the pilot he did then. So, like, teach some magic. Of course, he also teaches some magic. Of course, he basically gets taught from all the other ones. And, of course, Aaron Sifursa's husband. And I think it's Levi's, like... He mentions, though, like, you teach me that you're magic again? He's like, "Oh, you want me to lick your finger?" It's like, "Yeah, but let's do that later." Yeah, he's always thinking about stuff later, which I think is so hilarious. And he's, of course, learning other members of some magic, though minus Lisa. Then he has a private... also, I forgot to mention this. His grimoire during his training session with Wadiko, it takes... human form of a cute girl. Yep, a cute girl with silver hair. Though there's no comment on her chest, though she does obviously point out like his perviness because she basically loves his perviness. She loves it. At one point, when basically when Liv falls asleep, like he's like wants to relax on his bed, and then she just climbs right on top of him. Now you're probably thinking, are they gonna have sex? No. Interrupted by Marin and Anko, who decide to basically, of course, they poke fun at, they revealed the fact that he's the reason why she stopped wearing her bunny underwear, and also apparently she doesn't wear a bra under her pajamas. Apparently, of course, been seeing her nipples. At one point, like they trip, and he basically just, she ends up like in his lap, though nothing much happens. So he basically gets knocked in the room anyways. So after all the lessons about the magic, eventually they revealed there's all these teleportation circles, like in every single city across the planet, which ingenious. And they get transported to the school they're going to, though apparently it's to someone standing. And then they run into Hedron. Yep, she is alive. And though apparently the grimoire, her name is Sora in this form, she apparently is still in human form because she likes being in this form. And Arya's not going to stop. Arya's not going to stop him. But I'm surprised here, Trinity's. They also have this hilarious bit where all the Trinity members basically end up. Well, minus Lisa, even Serena ends up in his bedroom. And that was like they all basically end up there. Even Arn basically somehow overhears us from the bathroom where she's bathing. Of course, Levy's hiding in the ceiling. Serena's hiding on the sheets, which I found this to be so hilarious. And then, of course, they finish the lessons up anyways. Then after a brief battle with Hedron, that's where the episode 8 ends. Basically, also the night before they have it where you, Levy, Sora, and Lilith, they go to hot spring. Or at least that Arnie basically puts on. He puts on a swimsuit this time because all the girls wear swimsuits. So he basically is like. He really wanted to basically see all of them naked in this bat, but nope, they decided all to wear swimsuits. He's like, oh crap, he basically ruined my fantasy. Yep. And of course, they had this really good, wonderful bit, this romantic moment, where we look at the sunset, and then, of course, they started playing water, and then, of course, Sora decides to use her magic to remove Lilith's top, and despite the fact that he had nothing to do with it at all, it was his grimoire, she receives a blast anyways, and then that leads into the stuff happening in the episode. I gotta say, really, I actually had fun with these episodes. I got a lot of laughter from these episodes because I really enjoy this type of humor. Because it's basically adult humor. I don't mind it at all. Now, the stuff they mentioned about breast, about groping, yeah, for a guy, that's not much of an issue. For a girl, if people of you are basically watching this series, like I mentioned last video, they might have a problem with the humor. They might not like it very much. Me, I enjoy it. I find it to be hilarious because I'm a guy. I like this type of humor. Okay? Yeah, but not much else to say about it. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. Next one's going to be a comic horror. I'm hoping to get time to do it, so I might get a chance to do it. I'm going to review the first episode of the current season of Attack on Titan. Yep. Next video. Bye.